Hello, it's Robert Grant again. Today, I wanted to take a look at the topic, a counselor. One of God's names in the Bible is Mighty Counselor. Yes, it's true, and God knows how everything works out, unfolds, and has its being. The cause of everything is not overlooked. Yes, it's true, God knows everything. He has left no stone unturned. While we proceed in this life, He has anything we may need. There's a story in the Bible of a prophet named Elijah the Tishbite. Those standing for God were few and far between. The prophet Elijah took his stand on Mount Carmel against 450 prophets of Baal and prophets of Asherah. Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, "Each of us will slaughter an ox and present it on an altar, and the God who answers by fire, He is God." After half a day of the prophets of Baal having no answer, Elijah calls on God, who answers by fire, burning up the offering on the altar. Then, with the realization that God answered by fire, Elijah had the prophets of Baal slaughtered. The people once again put their trust in God. But evil Queen Jezebel, hearing of the prophets of Baal being slaughtered, sent a message to Elijah saying, "May God deal with me ever so severely if your head is not taken from you today." Elijah fled and then took a 40-day journey. Under a broom bush, he sat down and prayed to God, "Please take my life away from me. I have had enough," he said. "Please let me die." To that, once Elijah had gone into a cave, God sent a violent wind, an earthquake, and fire, one after the other, and then a still small voice in which Elijah knew was God. Elijah said to God, "I am the only of your prophets left, and they are trying to kill me too." Then God said to Elijah, "Go back the way you came." "Yet worry not, I have reserved 7,000 in Israel, all who have not bent knee to Baal or kissed, and whose mouths have not kissed him." Elijah was in a rough shape, but God came down to him, as he did with Jonah in the whale, reassuring him that his way was greater than Jonah's, and as he was with Moses, when Moses didn't believe in himself, yet God brought him to a state of confidence. And Abraham, Father Abraham, he walked him and his wife from childless through to having a son who would be and produce a lineage of many nations. Another story where Jesus does some counsel is a lady caught in the act of adultery. The high priests and Pharisees took the woman to Jesus and said clearly, this woman should be stoned. She was caught in the very act of adultery. And then, what do you say about it? Jesus knelt down and started drawing on the ground. They stood there for a wee while, yet Jesus kept writing, and then looking up, he said, you who is without sin, cast the first stone. At this, from the oldest to the youngest, they all turned around and left, leaving the woman and Jesus. Jesus said to the woman, woman, are there no one who condemns you? And she said, no, sir, no one. Then Jesus said, neither do I condemn you. Go and live your life of sin. That story speaks nothing of the man who she must have been with. When people need guidance, the Bible leaves no stone unturned. Some biblical counseling. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. If you go to offer an offering and at that time realize you have had differences with your brother, leave your offering there, go and be reconciled with your brother, then give your offering. Don't think on negative things, thereby giving the devil a foothold. Love covers over a multitude of sins. When you have worries of all sorts, remember only one thing, God, is necessary. Live in the light of that. I'll leave you with these thoughts. As you twist and turn down the paths of life, remember God is your refuge. Thank you for listening.